Right, so hi everyone, I'm Patty Randolph. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for the district. And I'm gonna be sharing with you tonight our plan for distance learning for our schools. So the first thing I wanna do is start off by recognizing, and we all recognize that the pandemic teaching of 2020, what happened in the spring when we shut down on March 13th through the end of the school year, really wasn't distance learning. It was crisis teaching. And our teachers did a heroic job. We all did our best with it, but it is not what we're looking at as far as a intentional distance learning plan. And that's what I want to share with you tonight. So when people think, going back to what we were doing in the spring, that's not what we're doing. We have a much more organized plan moving into this next 6 weeks of opening the school, if we go that way, with distance learning. So the first thing that I want to share is that there are essential elements of instruction. I have to keep moving myself out of the way so I can read my slides. There are the essential elements of teaching the whole child hold true regardless of the learning model implemented, whether you're in distance learning or a hybrid model or you're in seat. These three critical components make up instruction for the whole child: social emotional learning, behavioral learning, and academic learning. Okay, so I'm going to go through those three parts and what that would look like in distance learning. For social emotional, which we know is critical, it's critical that we build our connections between students, teacher, and each other. And when I say each other, I mean not just the relationship between the student and the teacher, but student to student. And that is what students are missing at this point, is they're not getting that opportunity to be with each other. In distance learning, we still need to monitor student social emotional well-being with daily check-ins. Daily check-ins, whether it's a question of the day, but checking in with our kids. We will be utilizing trauma-informed practices like brain breaks, which we use in our classrooms all the time. And we will maintain a classroom community with daily synchronous meetings. Synchronous means, again, that we're all on at the same time, live, so that we have an opportunity for that teacher and those students to connect with each other. Critical component for social emotional learning. Behavior. Just like in our classroom in seat, we have to clearly communicate and teach the expectations for behavior. And that includes making sure we are all clear on what the expectations for behavior are during any kind of an online meeting. We will be tracking attendance and participation, and attendance is required for our meetings. This is not optional. We do need to see our students there. We do need to have them participate in the live instruction that will be happening. And we want to remind all of us, families and students, that this is school. This is what school will be looking like for the time that we're in distance learning. Academic learning. We will be delivering on grade level, standards-based instruction to all students. This is what our teachers are well versed in. This is what we have been working on for the last several, not just several years, many years of really getting dialed in on all of that. We will continue to design our lessons using the core principles of instruction, including setting learning goals and success criteria so that we can all measure whether or not students are making those goals, and so that students can measure whether or not they're meeting their own goals that they have. We will be providing both synchronous and asynchronous instruction. Let me go through what those are and what that looks like. So synchronous is students and teacher online together during a scheduled time for instruction, for discussion, for collaboration, for a presentation. That presentation might be from the teacher, it might be from another student. That there will be the use of breakout rooms for small group instruction. We've worked really hard over the last 6-7 years on delivering small group differentiated instructions to our students, and we would continue that in the distance learning model. Synchronous learning time will be daily. So in TK through 5th grade, they would be receiving 90 to 120 minutes of synchronous instruction daily. Now that does not mean that's 90 minutes all at one time or 120 minutes. We all know that that's way too long for a student to be online all in one chunk. So it would be chunked out throughout the day. For middle school, all 3 of our middle schools, and I think this was shared at one of our previous board members, they created a block schedule. And so our middle school students will actually be following their regular block schedule, which they will pick up on their Wow Day, Bengal Day, or Rattler Day. They will get their schedule and they would follow that same schedule, that block period. That block period, I think, would end up with them having 3 periods, about 90-minute periods a day. 40 minutes of that 90-minute period would be for synchronous instruction, and the rest of that time would be made up with the asynchronous, which would be on your own. Again, attendance is required. I need to move myself again. This is I can't see them. So students, asynchronous is when we're not all on at the same time and students are completing their work. They are working at on their own time, their own pace. This may include watching pre-recorded videos. So a teacher may set up a pre-recorded video, push it out through Google Classroom, say, okay, everybody, I'd like you to watch the video. Then when we get on for our synchronous time, we're going to discuss that video, talk about it, but you're gonna have spent that time possibly prior to meeting with us all together. It might be time for reading articles, written work, projects. That's what they would be doing as that asynchronous instruction. Additional expectations we have is we will be using our district adopted curriculum. We've worked really hard over the last 6 years to pull in some top quality curriculum that our teachers are well versed in. They do an excellent job with delivering that curriculum, and they would want to continue working with our district adopted curriculum. We will be administering both formative and summative assessment. So our assessments that we would normally use, we would continue to use those. One of the other things that would be an expectation is that we would have common digital tools used across the district to provide parents, families, students, teachers, all of us with that similar experience, and everybody using those similar tools so that we can make things simpler for everyone. We want to be using collaborative structures to reduce individual teacher load, and this is collective teacher efficacy. I did meet with groups of teachers late May, and then people continued to give me feedback over the summer, but in late May met with different grade levels of teachers, and they shared those that really worked together as a grade level team shared this was huge, that they were able to, by working together, not only put out a similar plan to their whole grade level, it really helped them with the workload in figuring out how to do it. And then we would also want to get that opportunity for those plans to be shared across the district, and I can do that with setting up Zoom LCF grade level meetings. So that's pretty much what our plan is moving forward. And I just want to say that I think this is a well thought out plan for what we need to do moving forward with distance learning. And our hope, like Dr. Roth said, is our hope that we get going for the 6 weeks, things are in place. We get to come back in seat, and when we do that, we just have that seamless flow of continuing on with the curriculum we've already been using. So that's what I have to share.
Thank you, Patty.